everybody. Welcome back to another video by Dissociated. This is Jade on what my role is like as gatekeeper of the system. Mainly, they either are able to control who has access to what memories, or who has access to the front. Sometimes, if there is a switch that needs to happen, or somebody who needs to be blocked from the front, a gatekeeper alter may be more able than other alters to control who has that access and who doesn't. I'm also able to control who accesses what areas of the inner world. Some gatekeepers may literally gatekeep within the inner world, control who can access what subsystems or what structures in the inner world. Perhaps they may guard specific objects or altars. I guard all of these things. I control who has access to the dungeons, who has access to the carousel, who has access to the basement, and nobody has access beyond the carousel except me and one of our persecutors, Demon. Only Demon and I are able to access the carousel. There is a door that floats in the center of the carousel. To everybody else, this door looks black. To me and Demon, this door looks red, and we are able to pass through it. I live in a cave.
Everything I'm saying in this video is alleged. Hello everyone, my name is Michelle, and today I am going to be talking about the Illuminati formula used to create a total mind-controlled slave. This has a connection to Dissociated due to the fact that many of their alters are copy-pasted straight from the book. Granddad, if you have an issue with this, please tell me, but I think that you'll enjoy this because hopefully it'll bring people to this video, because I just feel like it didn't get as many views as it should have, and hopefully it can drive more people to your channel. I hope that's okay, but if it's not, then obviously I'll just take them out and re-upload it.
We had a new altar turn up literally, like 3 days ago? And that was weird. Like, I know what they told me and what my friend told me that they told them. Okay, I'm not sure if it's like a new, well, it is a new altar, but part of the inner world, it's a sort of connection of what cameras. As I say, yeah, okay, so the mainframe runs through the inner world. We weren't sure really what it was, and this new altar seems to be connected to the mainframe, or like part of the mainframe, from the mainframe, somehow connected to the mainframe.
I beg you to look at possible ulterior motives that Dissociated might have. One of the most talked about similarities between Dissociated and the book is Jade, because it is quite the copy-paste. It needs to be a gem named alter, and they are a gatekeeper alter who guards this carousel. There's a specific door only they are able to enter, and they are able to control the other alters. And it goes on and on. Ruby gives Jade this necklace that is also in the book. Ruby's characteristics are talked about being ageless and gifting this necklace to Jade, in which she wears all the time. She had gotten it from Ruby is Delta programming, an old woman who came out of the woods, gave it to her, and then she never saw her again. Omega programming is a spitting image to Omega. They're emotional and they can commit suicide at any point if needed in the body. The ghost alter is created from a near-death experience. Sally is basically a spitting image to Sally gamma programming within the book. The role of this person is to be the caretaker and the motherly figure. In these torture instances in SRA, they would use very triggering things. They would program these children in very disturbing ways, but they would be using like Disney films. Click your ruby slippers together. Glass programming, Alice through the looking glass. Sexual programming, these duplicates are called mirror images and glass people, looking glass people, hourglass programming. Basically, there's all these systems and codes that are being run by the mainframe. Dark and Demon. Dissociated claims that Demon or Dark, I forget what the alter's name was, came out of this anime that they liked. Kyle and Chloe were made up by Dissociated. All of the new alters are, and They're very interesting. The pretty sleep paralysis demon, their goal through mind controlling these children is to instill dehumanization, fear, the use of shame, ridicule, anger, teaching that the master is God, Lucifer, portals, focal points. Essentially, this book talks about how the Illuminati is connected to the government. Every time they reference God, they are actually referencing Satan. And actually, that makes sense. That's why it's on the dollar bill. In God we trust. SRA was a debunked conspiracy theory that took place in the 80s. These patients would be implanted with these false memories by therapists. The book states that in many times the father will sell their child to the Illuminati. It was exposed that dissociated's alters are essentially a copy-paste from this. In many circumstances, they would go on these Facebook forums, research this book, and ask questions about it. The book talks about extremely disturbing themes such as horrible, unthinkable child abuse, forced cannibalism, forced drugs, the idea that women are kept in bulk having these children. They are forced to give birth prematurely because it will traumatize the child even further. The child is either sacrificed or they're turned into a DID system. The idea was that the SRA conspiracy, it turned out that these individuals actually evidently had not experienced this trauma, but rather the therapist had implanted it in their mind and in the time was actually sexually abusing them. And this has come out and it's a fact. The book talks about how in order to create the most traumatized child, you have to give them love for X amount of time, whether it be a year. So I guess sometimes in some cases they would give the child exponential amounts of love and then take it all away and give them the worst abuse possible, in which case the child would learn the highest level of dissociation. They would be the most life-threatened and it would force them to develop DID or else they would have died or gone psychotic. Do I believe that rich white men are doing whatever they want with these children provided to them by like the government? Yes, I do. My conspiratorial mind, because I'm woke. Do I think that these men also worship Satan? No. Unless Satan is money, then yes. Basically, this book claims that after MK Ultra, they were like, okay, so this shit didn't work. Now let's move on to something else. And that was the monarch programming that is in this book. They decided that in order to program someone, it needs to happen at a younger age. Do I think it was the Illuminati? No. I feel like if the Illuminati is still around today, they 100% do not go by that name anymore. Do I believe that there's 7 families who are secretly inbred to rule the world? Yes. Who owns the Federal Reserve? This book also talks about New World Order, and so it also has a lot of typos, so it's basically incorrect. It's just not something that someone would base their ritual abuse off of. Like, ritual abuse would probably be based off of actual methods, I guess, rather than this insaneness. This book talks about how they're spilling the tea, the beans, about how in extension to MK Ultra, which 100% did happen, and it was a case in which individuals would be subjected to horrible, horrible abuse by the government, and this is fact that this did happen, along with the Montauk Project, which is basically Stranger Things. Also, sex trafficking and ritual abuse do happen, 100%, and you are valid. Jeffrey Epstein literally just came out of having this secret island where all of these rich men, and don't even get me started on Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Grove is this place where only rich, powerful white men are allowed to go to, Republicans, and it's in California in the deep woods, in like the redwood forest, and women are not allowed to work there. I think they might have started letting women work there, but like, I don't know, it's like super secretive, and apparently the government has children for these men's access. And I believe that 100%. I believe that that's happening. I have no reason to believe that. Like, I have no proof, but that sounds like fucking something that's happening. So the conclusion is that basically that is impossible to have gotten alters this perfectly. This would be one of the most accurate cases in the monarch programming. And Dissociated is out here like living their life, like going on plane trips when they're 21 years old, you know, going to college, doing things on their own. And I just feel like if you had gone through the trauma that had made your alters so perfectly in line with monarch programming, then you, like, SRA isn't real, you guys. Conclusion. All right, take care. That acting is